dowel across the back of our shoulders. We're going to take a tall posture, and we're going to march just as we did without the dowel. So toes are up, knees are up. You can do this over 10 meters, so in a marching pace, we're just going one foot, half foot in front of the other, or one step in front of the other. Second position is then moving up overhead. Again, creating a tall posture and marching. Starting in place first, and then moving to the Dowel A skip. So progression from the march. 2 is the same positions you got on the back, and then overhead. Starting on the back. Posture's the same. Heels are up slightly off the ground. We're going to start bouncing. Dropping the knee up, toes up. Moving forward. We go to an overhead position. It's the same sort of idea. Pressing up towards the ceiling in an active position. And then moving forward. Trying to keep the posture relatively straight. There's going to be some rotation side to side, but we're just trying to negate this sort of movement. Try to keep the dowel relatively straight, either overhead or on our shoulders. Try to minimize the rotation. Some is fine, a lot is too much. Next progression on the A-March, using the dowel, we can add some resistance, putting the ball on the chest, or putting the ball overhead. So starting with the ball on the chest, we're going to start in that same sort of position, heels are up off the ground, then marching in place, and then moving forward. You can also go little sideways rotations. We're not moving the ball excessively, but just from shoulder to shoulder essentially. A little bit of rotation happening through the trunk to help work on core stability. Next would be up overhead. And same sort of idea. Moving forward, pressing the ball. We're not letting the elbows bend too much, but actively pressing up towards the ceiling and getting that tension and that core stability. You want to make sure that the ball's not out overhead or pressed behind it. You want to push straight up overhead. So A skip to the med ball. Again, there's 2 possible positions. One would be at the chest, one would be overhead. So with the ball on the chest, it's skipping here. There's some rotation happening, but focusing on bouncing. Next one would be up overhead. Again, keeping core tension so we're not here or pushing the ball out in front of us. We want belly tight. Okay. So for the 3-point start, this is our start line. We're going to go on the line and then come back 1 foot for the setup. From here, I regularly start with my left foot forward, so I'm going to pivot my right foot 90 degrees up to the side, and then pivot back. If you're starting with the right foot forward, it's just the opposite. From here, I'm going to hinge forward, so my hand is on the line. I want to create a bubble with my hand. So my thumb and my forefinger are right on the line. My free hand is going to be at my hips. And I want my hips to be up over my shoulders or at shoulder height. I should be fairly balanced here. I want to feel comfortable, like I can hang out in this position and not be stressed. And from here, when you're ready, you're going to take off. Start or a skip in start. You're going to start a couple yards back from the start line. You're going to walk towards it, add a bit of a bump, and then drive out of the start position. So at speed, it'll look like for a back pedal. We're going to start in a low position. Hand will be out in front. We want the weight on the balls of our feet. We're going to think about pushing off backward. Push, push, push. We're using our arms to help throw us backwards versus just staying here and karate chopping. We want to actively use those and think about driving backwards. So sitting down, I'm going to push, 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 push. The backwards run is a little bit different than the back pedal. Back pedal, we're focused on getting low and staying low. The backwards run, we're going to exaggerate the running stride backwards. In the name, look, it's up, kick back, and pull yourself through, exaggerating that sort of running stride. So from here, you're going to these are the Zig Zag Bounds. So similar to the straight line bounds, we're trying to actively get up and hold sort of a running position with toes up, hit the ground, drive off, back in a sort of 45, 30-degree angle. It's not any specific angle that we're looking for, but just trying to get some momentum going side to side, working on cuts. With this, I suggest walking into the start line to get your rhythm, and then drive. Use your arms with this as well. Alright, so this is the lateral hurdle hop and sprint. I got 2 hurdles set up here. Your program will specify how many hurdles you have, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or multiple. It's going to be a 2-foot sideways hop. As we hop over, we want to keep facing downfield versus turning into the hurdle, hopping this way, and then trying to sprint that way. So, 2-foot hop, quick contact. As soon as you hit the ground, you're already leaning and setting yourself up to accelerate out of that position for however long you break it. So it looks like it's an S-curve run. So what we're focusing on here is rounding out our sprint and taking a straight line sprint and adding more of a sport-specific component to it. So with this, the longer and skinnier the S is, the easier it's going to be. The steeper, shorter S is going to be more difficult, more challenging for the athlete. So set it up either based off of what the program says, or if you're just starting, make it easier on yourself, and gradually pull the S out and make it fatter. So it looks like start off in a falling start. I'm going to zigzag my way through. So here. The 2-point start. Very similar to your falling starting position. We're going to start at the line. We'll take feet together, pivot out, pivot back. I start with my left foot forward, your right foot forward, then pivot the other way. So, again, here, I'm going to go hands in front, relaxed, loosey-goosey. I'm pressing this knee, my front knee, forward, and I'm really loading that front half of the foot. I should feel balance between both legs, so I don't want to just be leaning on one foot and have nothing on the back foot. So be centered, but I'm pushing forward. Arms are relaxed. There's no fall from here. I'm just going to push. Alright, for jogging start, we say that this is going to be the start line. I'm going to start probably about 3 to 5 meters back. I'm going to start jogging in, and as soon as I reach the line, or as I'm approaching the line, I'm going to lean forward and accelerate out of the start. So I'm going to come out with a little bit of speed. So it starts off here. Alright, so this is the hurdle hop and sprint. With your program, it'll specify how many hurdles you have. In this case, I'm going to use 2 hurdles. It's going to be quick contact between the hurdles, and then land and prep myself to accelerate and sprint out of it. So I want to end up in that sort of leaning, falling position as I'm about to hit the ground and explode out as far as I can. So I'm going to start off tall, bounce, and then sprint. The hurdle hop and stick. We're going to set these hurdles up. If you've got the amount of hurdles you need for reps, great. If you've only got 4 hurdles, if you're doing 8 reps, just out and back. These are 12 inches. Use whatever hurdles are prescribed for a height that you feel comfortable in jumping over and being able to land and go correctly. So with this, we're going to hop over the hurdle and then land in an athletic position. So we're jumping over, we're going to stick, back's tight, feet are underneath the hips, athletic position, chest is up, no soft landings. So up, and then pull. I'm in a solid position here. From here, I'm going to jump up, and then down. Up, down. fall-offs with multiple contacts. So we progressed from sticking the landing to mini bounce, and now we're at multiple contacts. So this one, we can start to progress the height as well. And we're jumping up over quick touches in between hurdles, all the way through to the end. All right, so looks like this is a hurdle hop with a mini bounce in between. This is the progression from sticking the landing. So we're jumping up, then we're going to add a little mini hop in between to prepare ourselves for the next jump up and over. So we want to make sure that we're staying light on our feet. It's up. This is a lateral drop landing. We're going to stand on the edge of the box and fall off to the side, keeping forward. So hips, shoulders, everything square forwards. We're going to fall off to the side and land in an athletic position. So from up here, I'm going to fall and then land that athletic position. Slam on the brakes real quick, hit the ground, should be in on the balls of the feet, more so. Heels will hit the ground, that's fine. Chest is up, knees are up. We're ready to take off in any sort of direction. The single leg lateral drop landing, exactly the same thing as the two-legged one, but now we're going to step off to the side and land on that outside leg and try to stick the landing. We want belly button over our knee, knee over the toe, nose over toes. So, up here, we're going to step out to the side, and then hit and stick. So I'm in that same sort of athletic position. I'm loading my hip, ankle, or hip, knee, and ankle, and I'm balanced. Everything is over top of that foot.